Welcome everybody once again to a Safe Place podcast. That was an absolutely dismal intro song. Thank you for suggesting that, Craig. That's the last suggestion you'll ever get.
You can change it, don't worry.
I can't change it because it's unfortunately been recorded at the start of the video. So anyway, we're here today because Craig has been doing some research and homework on how to implement the most probable outcome for a sense of well-being if you've been struggling with mental health. And what we're going to try and do here is hear Craig's theories and suggestions on what you should do, but also get the counter narrative, which is the person that might be sitting at home going, I've tried that, I've done this, none of it's worked. What am I supposed to do, Craig? Do you want to run us through the suggestions that you've got to help people with their mental health?
So, I just want to explain something. Why would I think of this? When I feel bad, and I've been feeling bad throughout all my life with mental health, because it's something that everybody has and gets, and the world seems to trigger more and more of this through experience. I don't like feeling uncomfortable. I don't like feeling that my mental health actually makes me dysfunctional in my relationship, in work life. So I have started over the last 6 to 8 months to actually look at things and think, is this beneficial for me? And these are two elements, physical and one psychological.
Let me guess the first one. Is it drinking your own urine?
So if it's drinking something, for me, drinking water, something that everybody can do, but how many out there are actually drinking enough water that they need to? Now, what not drinking enough water does to a human being makes you dehydrated. It actually zaps the energy out of your brain when you, throughout the sleep, you're getting dehydrated. If you're not drinking water straight away in the morning, you are fucked for the rest of the day.
Yeah, but I like Coca-Cola, Craig. That's what we're hearing from the people at home. I like my energy drinks. I haven't got time for water. I don't like it. In fact, water makes me feel bad. Right. So what's water going to do?
So you can say you don't like drinking water, right? However,
Water makes me vomit.
I don't like taking antibiotics, but when I am fucking ill, I'll take antibiotics off the doctor. Water is the free medicine that we don't have.
What form is the water coming in? Is it tap water you're talking about? Bottled water? Ionised water? Distilled water? Let's get into the waters then, if water's such a significant thing that you suggest is going to make us all so mentally
So
able.
basically, find out for your body weight and whether you exercise what amount. You know, someone who runs every day is going to have more water than someone who does no exercise. So find out roughly the estimate that you need to have. For me, I think it was like 3 to 4 litres of water a day. I get a big 1 litre bottle of Volvic. I'll start off. Now, I aim for 3 litres and it's tough. It's a chore. I want to get a chocolate milkshake. I want to get a Pepsi as well. But when I drink them, they make me feel shit. When I drink water,
so we've got the different
I feel
narrative
good.
here, which is people saying they feel shit when they drink water and they feel better when they're drinking coffees or energy drinks.
Well, like everything in life, you have been addicted to thinking that you need to wake up in the morning and have a coffee. Caffeine is a very strong addictive drug. If you try to stop drinking coffee, go cold turkey, don't have a coffee for a week. One, you probably won't be able to do it. If you do, you're going to get a right headache because your body is going to try and drag you back. Now, like everything, you're not going to do this overnight. You're not going to start drinking 3 bottles of Volvic every day. I get that. What you're going to have to do is add a pint glass in the morning, try and get through it, and slowly implement it and change your bad habits. Now, you can defend everything that you want to do and keep doing. But if you're suffering from mental health and you really want to get better, or if you just want to feel a little bit more energy, you've got to slowly implement it. It's absolutely crucial. The science is behind it. Your doctor tells you to drink loads of water. Everybody knows you have to drink water.
The doctor told me to take the COVID jab, and that was ill-informed medical advice, but there's another story. So take us beyond the water, Craig. What else have you got next? Breathe fresh air, go outside, get loads of oxygen.
So the second one I chose, sleep.
Fucking hell, when you going to do drinking urine? So sleep, come on. Is drinking your urine in this step-by-step process? Get the fuck out of this house.
So if you want to add drinking urine,
I don't want to add drinking urine. How presumptuous of you. I was just interested if you added drinking urine into it. That's disgusting. I don't want to add that.
there is benefits to drinking urine,
I don't want to talk about drinking urine. I just wanted to see if you was going to talk about it so I could try and change the subject from it being spoken about because it's disgusting. It makes me sick to my stomach. Not when I drink it because I've never drunk urine.
So, sleep. Now, come on. How many of you guys are getting
This
regular?
This one I agree with. I agree with the water one because hydration is always better than dehydration. There's loads of symptoms that you get with dehydration: confusion, lethargy, fatigue. You can even develop panic attacks. So it's definitely going to affect your mental health. So I agree with you on the water. I'm just coming out with the idea that you can imagine the audience. They're so addicted to the fizzy drinks.
I get that. Now, these guys out there, right? If you turn around and say, I can't do something, it's a lie. You can change water to fucking Coke, cut off the Coke and coffee and change it to water. How can you do that? Do you think I've done that overnight?
Okay, all right. I see you're very passionate about water, right? But let's move on to the next one.
Do you know what I'm passionate about? The people, like you say, the devil's advocate that you always play so beautifully well, and I have to play it sometimes to give your opinion of what you would say, as in, no, I can't change. I get fucking passionate about the people who suffer with mental health but won't cut out a big fucking bottle of Coke every day. So they stay overweight, which triggers their anxiety, which triggers bad relationships, and then you just live in this world.
So it would seem that you're suggesting drinking water to help people alleviate some mental health symptoms to make them feel better is also to make you feel better, because it's quite evident to see while you're speaking there that people's ill health, or mental health rather, as a result of not drinking water actually affects your mental health. I can see you're quite frustrated, maybe angry. So you want people to drink water so they're less affected by mental health, just so it doesn't affect your mental health. Would you agree with that partly?
Well, I suppose it's true, because I want to live in a world where nobody is fucking deranged.
Wow, what a utopian world that is.
I want to live in utopia. Because do you know what? For most parts of the day, I live in utopia. Yes. I'm just trying to tell you how to get there. Now, you can't deny these as scientific facts. If I said to you, put something on your fridge.
What if I told you I didn't believe in science? Anyway, move on to step 2, drinking your own urine.
Right, sleep. You agree with that?
It's not drinking your own urine. I'm going to do that.
We've got to hit this sleep one, because sleep's like you said, I should have said this number one.
Sleep's an important one. Now, what type of sleep are we talking about? Are we talking about REM sleep? Are we talking about full-on blackout? I'm not even aware that I'm asleep. What sleep?
Personal experience, that's all I can go from, and there's probably more evidence we could find to
minimum
say
hours.
the perfect.
How many minimum hours do we need, Craig, sleep?
I would argue you want to be aiming for 7, minimum 7. And I wouldn't even go past 9. 7 to 8 hours regular. Now also the regular, I think
consistency. A little bit like a newborn baby, it needs a regular routine to optimise the physiological well-being and hence the psychological well-being of the child. And everybody's circadian rhythm has been completely destroyed by technology, staying up late, binge watching, binge eating, and then they wonder why they feel down or anxious.
And I can go into the mental health and the psychological thing that the lack of sleep does.
Come on.
If you, listen to this now, if you can aim for, this is my routine, 10 to half 10 to try and sleep, go to sleep. All
nappy change at 10.
TV off,
nappy
relaxed.
Change at 9, talcum powder on your bum.
Don't get fucking eating food at 10 and thinking you're going to have a great sleep.
Being howled and sung to. It'll be going to go through your real routine.
Yeah. So, and then get up at the same time. If you do that every day, what you will find is that night that you have out and you're partying till 4, it is going to fuck you up for 2 or 3 days.
I'm just thinking about one of my routines when I was a kid. It was a lovely time in my life. When I think back. Grandpa, no. So sleep, you were saying, yeah?
So sleep. And what What is sleep doing? Now, they actually don't know exactly what's going on, apart from it definitely reboosts your cognitive brain of memory, of attention, all the things that you need in the day. So when you're tired, this is what I think it's so crucial for mental health to get this sleep right.
But Craig, what if I'm insomniac? What about if I know that sleep is so important, but the very act of trying to sleep and the pressure of knowing how important sleep is means that now I'm anxious about my sleep, which means now I cannot sleep.
Exactly. I've been there, baby. I've been there, and you go crazy and you're like, oh, sleep deprivation. You can go insane with sleep deprivation. Now, all I can say is, it's, again, like everything else, it's a slow journey of you getting into a routine and finding what works for you. You might, somebody recently suggested to me when I was struggling to fall asleep through stress, anxiety, everything that was going on, suggested I have quite a heavy
Puberty
meal.
blockers. You was going through heavy med puberty blockers at the time, wasn't you, Craig?
Always asked me to smell his handkerchief, and for some reason it made me go out like a light. But having a heavy meal to make you full and rest. Now, you could have digestive problems throughout the night, but I was having just basically brown pasta, heavy meal, and it was making me feel that lovely little, oh, I'm just sort of down now, like in this low mood.
Yeah, the energy would deplete and it would...
Yeah, and if you build the right environment, eventually you will learn how to sleep. And
why are people looking to do this, Craig? Is there somebody sitting at home right now that doesn't understand where their anxiety or the depression might be coming from, or their stress might be coming from? Are they sitting at home now listening to this, hearing this? And I think everyone pretty much knows already this information, don't they?
Yeah.
So what's the real problem? Why are people actually not implementing healthy routines, drinking more water, getting enough sleep to improve their mental health? Do they actually believe that it will improve their mental health?
You've already said it.
Drinking your urine.
They haven't.
Any chance I get, come on.
You've already said it. They're the sort of people who say, but I love a big bottle of Pepsi before I go to bed. I love to wake up in the morning and have that coffee. And if I wake up 4 hours early, it doesn't matter. I'm going to be fine at work. But you're not fine at work, are you, Dawn? You are a raging arsehole. And these things are just simple. You can implement in your life. You do it slowly, week by week. You get better
hope
and
Dawn's
better.
sitting at home now, listening to you, just calling her out, calling her a raging arsehole. And I hope she's in such a place of healing that she hears that and says, you know what, I can be an arsehole. Dawn. But we both know what Dawn's doing at home now, don't we? She's moaning, defending why she's not an arsehole. She's calling you an arsehole for calling her an arsehole.
You ask anybody, right? You see that cranky person and the person who suffers with mental health, and the ones that say, oh, by the way, I've got to go to the doctor's next week again. They're going to have to up my antidepressant, you know. And you say, how many hours are you getting to sleep every night? What's your routine? Oh, really good routine. It's probably 10. No, not 10 on a Monday, because I like to watch that program till 11, and then I keep YouTube on all night. Yeah, so it's probably a broken sleep, and it's just not good for the brain.
It shows you how beautifully childlike we are, doesn't it?
Oh, by the way, you asked why they can't do it, didn't you? You asked why are they not doing it.
This is the most important thing to me.
It's because your whole environment has never told you the importance of this, and you've never tried it long enough to see the benefits. So what you actually are brainwashed to do is do everything shit that makes you feel shit, and this new shit is the new you. I feel like this and nothing's going to change. Do you think Pepsi and water, swapping that, is going to make me change? I'm just telling you, Dawn, try it for 2 weeks. I bet you feel a percentage better. And if you put all these together, all of a sudden you are flying high and the world is your oyster.
You're stacking this process together, aren't you? Formulating some sort of a master mental health plan. What's next?
Oh, thank you, Squire. So, exercise. Didn't see that one coming, did you?
I can't exercise though, Craig, because I've got type 2 diabetes.
And why have you got type 2 diabetes?
Because I sit at home watching Netflix and eating shitloads of crisps.
Yes, exactly. Now, I would argue that most people aren't doing enough exercise that the human body physically needs to do.
Do you know what the best form of exercise is?
It's not rude, is it?
It's not masturbation. No, it did crop my mind to say it. Music. Just put some music on and dance. Just move that body to the sound of the beat. Just move with it. Swing with those vibrations and just let everything hang loose, baby.
Put that really shit song back on.
I'm not putting that back on. That's not music. But yeah, music, I suppose, is a form of exercise that everybody can relate to. And I know probably Dawn's sitting at home now going, well, I don't like fucking music. Because Dawn wants to use every possible excuse not to change, because Dawn's got a secret agenda. What's Dawn's secondary hidden agenda gain to being unhealthy and full of anxiety? Dawn gets to play the victim card, and Dawn learn that playing that card got her loads of attention and sympathy. So why would I ever risk making myself feel better and actually moving my body and nourishing my cells with water, sleep, good food, exercise? Why would I do any of that? Because my needs are being met right now, getting all of the attention that I need to play my mental health card. I just said it.
Yeah.
Right there.
So Andrew's just said something now, playing the mental health card. I know people who play the mental health card, but I also know there's a lot of people out there that will be offended by what we say as if we're up on a pedestal. I suffer with the worst mental health you can believe. I promise you this. I wouldn't be saying this if I didn't experience the worst mental health. Are you the
best at worst mental health? Is that what you're saying?
If we ever do a podcast and you want to join me as well and talk about your mental health, you will not believe how deep down the rabbit hole I've gone with my mental health. It's quite frightening. Now, the reason that we say play the mental health card, because we don't believe that mental health is actually technically that bad. We believe it's a coping mechanism that you picked up to survive and is okay.
Well, I would say mental health is absolutely bad. It's only bad because people haven't gotten the right help. If they get the right help, they will be okay. But without the correct help, they will diabolically suffer in that mental health crisis, won't they?
And the right help starts, for me,
with a kiss.
Is understanding. It's understanding mental health. I find now that all of my mental health traits still exist with me functioning very highly, like I've got great well-being. I've just flipped what they do.
So, great point, Craig. So what's next on your list?
Let me just finish off exercise, because I understand a large person out there who's never done anything and has tried before, and they do it for a week and they fail, and they do it for a week and they fail, will say, hold on a sec, we need help with the exercise. What I'm saying to you to do is start off with simple, can you do one squat, one press up, one star jump in the morning? Just start there. And every day, I promise you will want to beat that one.
Well, I would say that music is the one. It's not a huge strain on the body.
I know people.
People love music. They can put it on, and all they've got to do, the first goal to achieve that week, is get up every day, no matter what time of the day it is, put on 10 minutes of your favourite song and just move your body to it. That would be the first step, because I tell you what, you get a 15 stone, 20 stone overweight woman and you tell her that she's got to do one press up. The only thing that's going to be pressing up is her nose into her face when she collapses onto the floor.
And isn't that enough for you to want to make sure you do one? For fuck's sake.
So music, baby, just put on your nicest track and
can I put my devil's advocate mask on?
Go on.
I don't ever listen to music, it's vile.
I don't. I tell you what, you find me a person that doesn't have
I
something
know
that they
people.
like.
I know people that don't listen to music.
Who do you know that doesn't listen to music?
Loads of people.
Only people that now you conveniently thought of to counter fucking
No,
argue
no,
the
I
fact
promise
that
you.
you'd rather have them do a press up.
No,
The
I promise
type
you.
2 diabetes,
I promise you.
schizophrenic, you do a press up.
I promise you, I have fucking spoke to people and they've asked me to turn music off or down because they hate it. They never, I know there's people out there, they'd rather read a book. They'd rather read a book. Now that's a good habit to have. I'm not knocking it.
Why don't you read some music and dance to that? Anyway, let's agree to disagree. Move on.
I assure you, right, everybody comment about all the people you know who don't listen to music. And I think you're right.
I think you're right. I
Music.
think there will be people out there that don't like music, but I think
It's
as a populace of 60 million people on Great Britain's soil,
we're doing
that
the populace.
50 million of those do like music. So we're generalising, and of course you're always going to get those ones that break outside of that
Yeah,
generalisation.
I have to do the devil's
aren't
advocate because there's someone out there who's like, I hate music.
you? Okay, next one.
All right, this one you're going to push back on. Plant-based diet, or at least a healthy diet. And you all know what a healthy diet is, and you all know that you don't really have one, do you? You know what I mean? Even me, now and again.
Even it's like God. God's like,
No.
come on, humans, have a healthy diet.
I'm gonna
we
tell-
all have a bad diet, don't we? Even me.
No, listen.
Alaka.
No, I didn't mean it in that sense. I've got a secret to tell you. It's fucking amazing. For all you guys who love fucking shit food, I've got the secret and a half for that. I've fucking found something beautiful. So, for me, plant-based diet, scientific evidence behind this. Let me tell you this.
Go for it, Craig.
High in antioxidants and something called psychochemicals, which decrease inflammation of brain cells, which stop brain cells dying. Now, no wonder when I tried this plant-based diet, because somebody at work got me onto it, and I tried it, I went super high charge to the point where I couldn't keep up with my sleep routine because I wanted to go to the gym for 2 hours at midnight.
And you say this primarily just come from a plant-based diet.
Plant-based
What
diet.
plants was you eating, Craig? This is where it's going to get funner. Tell me the plants you was eating in your plant-based diet.
So anything that I could get that was just fruit, veg, raw, no
What about
added.
nuts?
I don't like nuts, so I can't remember
I've got
having nuts.
picture evidence to prove that you like nuts, Craig.
You can't
You know, Subway City in town, those gay bars, I've got a whole fucking megabit of data that proves you love nuts.
That was a stag do that we said we'd never discuss. Now,
So plant-based diet, you had that much energy. But again, just tell me, what plants was you eating? What's your favourite plants to consume, Craig?
well, unfortunately, I have an eating disorder, so it was tough to do any fucking diet for me because I hated everything. So I got to admit that it was a struggle for me to get my head round.
You playing the mental health
disliking it.
card with your eating disorder.
Yes, I had an eating disorder.
What's your eating disorder?
My eating disorder, I can gone all the way through it. Didn't even realise this. I've known about.
Are you lactose intolerant?
I don't even believe that you can be intolerant to anything. I think that you develop them as some sort of trauma-triggered defence mechanism.
Oh, Jesus.
But the truth is, you can wean yourself back onto anything because what I've noticed with this possible fasting as well involved in this, just basically improves your body to the point where you're not intolerant to stuff. I'm drinking and eating stuff now, and this is what the point I was going to try and make, where you put me on the pedestal of like even me. I don't feel like I'm intolerant to the stuff I was intolerant years ago, and I think the eating disorder, being this highlighted to me, can just be something that I can now
What's
work
your eating
through.
disorder then, tell us?
So for me, my eating disorder was I couldn't eat in front of people. So that's very tricky when everybody in the world wants to go and eat. That's all we do for fun, isn't it? So Christmas parties, I would never go out and eat anything. Also, I can't be offered food by anybody. I don't trust where they've had their hands, how they've prepared it. Again, all this psychological from the
And
way.
you're saying that a plant-based diet has not only enabled you to eat food around or in front of people, but it's also allowed you to eat food that's been prepared by people, unbeknownst to you what type of food hygiene standards that they've been adhering to while they've been making you that plant-based sandwich.
What I'm saying is, I still get triggered with that thought. So the trust thing.
What happened to you as a kid with food? What did Mama do? What did Mama do wrong?
So basically, it was a unhygienic place to eat food.
Oh,
Eating wasn't high on the agenda of stuff to do. I think my mum had a huge thing with food. If she'd make me a meal, she'd then rubber stamp a psychological blow on my brain as a fucking young person, where she would make me feel awkward or uncomfortable for eating. She would say lots of things. We didn't eat a lot of food. I was skinny until
oh my God!
18,
So
19.
she was basically emotionally abusing you because she had her own worries and concerns with being able to afford food to feed you. So she would send you these little emotional, unconscious digs in an attempt, unconsciously to her. I have no doubt that she wasn't consciously aware that she was doing this to some degree, but she was emotionally abusing when you ate food in an attempt to get you away from eating so much food, to shame you in eating so she didn't have to spend so much money on food. Would you say that's a potential key factor?
Could be the reason that it happened, but yeah, lots of comments like, "You're eating again." First time I would eat in one day, like a meal.
There we go.
And then so I was just constantly put off ever eating.
Well, this is a whole different podcast. I didn't know this about you. You never shared this.
I've only discovered, by the way, I didn't know this. Luckily, I met my ex-wife in the Isle of Wight when I dropped my son off, and I told her that I'm on a nice plant-based diet that I really enjoy, and she turned round to me and said, "Oh, your eating disorder got better." And I was like, "Eating disorder? I didn't have an eating disorder."
Oh my God! So you was even So this is the beautiful thing about the unconscious.
Yeah.
Your whole life you've had it. You didn't even know you had it until someone observed it and called you out and told you that you had that disorder, which I think is a fascinating of a podcast because it means we can get our hands dirty with the idea of what Mama did to you and see if we can exercise that demon from you.
And by the way,
therapeutically.
my mum won't ever probably watch this, but I don't
She has a TV disorder.
have any.
It makes her feel uncomfortable watching anything. That she got funny enough from Craig always going, "Oh, you're watching the TV again, Mum." You see how it works both ways,
Yeah.
right? Craig used to get her back with, "Oh, Mum, you're watching the TV again," and now before you knew it, she developed her own TV disorder.
It was all tit for tat.
Yeah, it was a revenge, wasn't it, Craig?
Yeah, this has really spiked your interest, this one, hasn't it?
I love trauma. It's one of the things that I'm mostly attracted to in therapy. So, eating a plant-based diet. And well done, by the way, for sharing that thing, because it is strange to think there's so many people out there that struggle to admit that they've got these little things. So what's the goal for telling people about that?
That I have only just recently learned that I've got an eating disorder that I'm currently working through to improve, and I understand everybody else will have all of these things, some that they're unaware of, some that they're very aware of. I understand where it comes from in the past, and I know that you can change it.
So what you got next, Craig? Thanks for sharing that with us.
Okie doke. So this last couple are, I don't think we get enough vitamins, so whether you want to get supplements to do this, and I don't agree with having too many supplements. If you can get it through a healthy diet, someone like me who can't eat a lot of food anyway because of working through this eating disorder, I need to have supplements, but find out what you might be lacking, and vitamins, I don't think we get them in our diet.
Thank you, Craig. What else you got?
Last one with the physical, which is quite simple. You wake up in the morning and you stretch and you do a healthy habit like brush your teeth, have a shower, personal hygiene. I think, and most people will know, if you have piss poor mental health, it's very difficult to groom yourself and be hygienic. So if you can sort of do it the other way around, if you set a good habit up of a process in the morning where you wake, you stretch your body out, you click all your bodies, and then you go into the bathroom and you start to be more hygienic. I think this is something, again, that we take for granted.
And if anything, prove us wrong. So try and carry out and make some of these changes over the next week. So when you go into the bathroom, you don't want to be doing you don't want to be taking part in your brushing your teeth or whatever it is. You don't want to be waking up and stretching. You don't want to be drinking more. You don't want to be eating more plant-based food. You don't want to be getting enough sleep. But do all of those things and then come back at us after a week and say, guess what? None of it worked. At least then you can turn around at the end of that week and go, do you know what? I did it all. I didn't want to do it. And none of it worked. And at least then you can move from there and we can try and find out the next step on what you do to try and alleviate some of the mental health difficulty you're going through. But that's the challenge that we can set you. Do it for a week, even though every part of your body doesn't want to do it, just to prove us wrong that it doesn't work.
Yeah, and I think that if you do any of them, a tiny amount, it will give you enough brain power to improve and feel better, to do other things, and then you can get the momentum going in the right direction.
Thank you, Craig, for sharing that heartbreak that you went through as a kid.
No props.
Tune in next time. Thank you, everybody.